Hello and welcome. I'm Kalpana Singhal, Editor-in-Chief CXO TV in Tech Plus Media, and we have with us a very special guest, Sanjay Mishra, Chief Information Officer, L&T Constructions, for this very interesting fireside chat. Sanjay is an information technology and digital leader with over 2 decades of global experience in leading large IT and functional teams with top MNCs like IBM and GE across multiple industry verticals like healthcare, power, energy, manufacturing, and construction. Proven track record in leading end-to-end IT functions of organizations in developing IT and infrastructure strategy, building organizations and developing teams, co-creating IT solutions, growing revenue opportunities, simplifying business processes, and delivering delightful customer experience. Transforming IT from being an enabler to the business core through technology, innovative solutions, automation, and process improvements. A technology enthusiast, an active participant and speaker in technology forums, a software developer who still loves building solutions through code. Welcome, Sanjay.
Thank you, Kalpana. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm pleased to see you today. Okay, so first we want to know, you have worked with many companies across sectors, healthcare, energy, construction in the last 23 plus years, and you started your journey with IBM. How has been your journey from being on the solution provider to consultancy to now a CIO of large construction company like L&T?
Good. So, yeah, it has been a pretty diverse journey. I started my career as a developer with IBM, and those 5-6 years of software development actually helped me understand how the IT development works. And that was the time when we were starting the development centers in India. There were very few companies which were doing in India. It was largely done with US, but we were partnering with US IBM team as well as in India IBM team. I was part of the team who were developing the code for operating system. So those 5-6 years of development as well as technical leadership from design perspective helped me gain an understanding with respect to nuances of development as well as requirement understanding, translating that to code to a large extent. After that, when I moved to GE, another big MNC, my role was largely with respect to making sure that getting the things done from program management perspective for first few years. So that role changed from a developer technical to making sure that an IT project management, program management perspective. Then I did a role which is operations with GE Power. What I have learned doing these various roles with different companies, Kalpana, that for a top role, you must do multiple roles and put on multiple hats so that you understand the entire perspective. And when you are doing this role, you can empathize with the users, you can empathize with the developers. You are the one probably who will be able to make sure that you can complete the chain from users to developers. It helped me a lot, and I think it was an organic journey, and probably I cherish those years, and still I leverage my development days. Whenever there are some challenges, I love to sit with my developers to make sure I understand what are the challenges. Is there a way I can edit? That is what I would say, and I strongly recommend for the aspiring leaders to make sure that you have gone through this journey of being a developer, being a programmer, being a project manager, then take that role. That will help you a lot.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Last 24 months have dramatically changed the outlook of enterprises towards technology and technology leaders. How this added focus and responsibilities are making life challenging for technology leaders like you?
Another good question, Kalpana. One thing has happened, in fact, that the camera has shifted to an IT leader. I think irrespective of the company, every company had to make sure they look up to IT that how to go forward. Be it where we are using the apps for food delivery, be it with respect to e-commerce, be it what we are doing with respect to gaming, or be it construction. Every company at that time was looking to their IT leaders how to move forward. So the camera had changed. That is a big thing has happened. Many organizations which were not putting too much focus on IT by virtue of this, by this shift, they have started looking into perspective of IT, how IT can be enabled, not something which is there, but to make sure that that it can help them carry on with the business. Construction being one of the first organization from perspective of domain industry, which was brought into essential list, where we had to make sure that we are putting efforts to bring workers to the project sites, taking their health parameters, making sure that we are enabling for folks working from home. That way, it has been a pretty challenging time for every IT leader. Few major changes have happened. First, acceptance of people for technology has changed. There was a resistance earlier in certain sectors. It has changed dramatically because there was no option anyway. Second, by virtue of that, even the demand for technology has increased and changed. And they have seen what their neighbors are doing, what their friends and family are doing, what their kids are doing. So demand has changed. These three, four factors have made sure that IT leaders are fulfilling the requirements for the businesses, making sure they are enabling them work wherever possible, at the same time keeping it secure and keeping it safe. These are the three, four big changes what probably I can put forward. The big change what has happened due to these dramatic past 24 months.
Yeah. So construction being labor intensive and they are not very educated people, when it comes to technology adoption. So similarly, manufacturing is also facing the same challenge. So how are you dealing with that situation?
Agree. I mean that in fact construction is one of the laggard for IT adoption. However, there have been steps taken, and the steps not in big steps. We started making sure that give them helmets which are RFID enabled. That will help them with respect to we track where they are, we geofence their movements, we figure out their productivity. That we started doing it. We use some AR, VR tools for the trainings, which were very easy, not difficult ones. If you come to those places, it's easy to use those tools. We started adoption of mobile again with the smaller, not complex tools. By using these smaller steps and making sure that we are using those technologies which are easier to relate to. I think that helped penetration of technology with the crowd, which is not as IT savvy as others would be.
Yeah, and during the pandemic, most of the laborers have already went to their hometowns, their villages. So, are you still facing some challenges when it comes to the labor?
Right now, I think the problem is much lesser what was in the phase one or in the wave one. Overall, the situation has improved a lot, but yeah, some part of the labor which was a cream, of course, everybody has lost. In fact, including us. So I think that challenge is there, but we are trying to cope up how to make sure that we make for that loss.
Yeah. So your expertise has been around ERP, be it maintenance or developing world's largest homegrown ERP for construction industry. We would love to hear about the journey.
Sure. So L&T Construction has its own IT systems. Large part of our IT systems are our own, which we have developed the past 30 years or so. We have multiple systems using multiple technologies. So 3 years back, when we started taking a look, when the stack, which were silver light of the world, which was getting out of service or end of life, we had couple of options whether to go for COTS, take a application or take a ERP which is available and widely used in the market, or build on whatever we already had. And we had a very detailed deliberations with respect to which path to choose. And after taking a data-driven approach and making sure that we are considering all the factors, we chose that it is better to leverage the workflows and the tools and the processes what we have perfected in past 30 years. It was not easy for us to lose that entire process knowledge or those domain expertise what we have developed in past 30 years or so. So we started working with our by engaging some of the best partners in the world to create the architecture, to create the process, and to develop this application what we call as the fourth generation of EIP, what we call EIP 4.0. It has been a massive journey. We had our own share of challenges given this COVID and folks not being available office, and sometimes it becomes very difficult to coordinate. But at the end of the journey, I think we feel pretty happy that we have developed something a very sophisticated, a pretty complex, and I think a very large IT product, what we call EIP 4.0. It's close to 10 million lines of code. If I just put that, it might be top 50, top 100 large, complex, sophisticated product what we have developed. It's working for us. We have to, and whatever we have done, we have used all the open source technology, so we don't have to worry about those right now. And our business users are loving it because this is a end-to-end solution, and this is something they have used to. So it's working for us so far. So let's hope it continues for some time, and we get the benefits whatever we thought we should be able to get out of this journey in Kalpana.
Wow, amazing. Okay, what are your recent technology initiatives in the organization, and what are the benefits you reaped out of those steps?
See, a few things should be common to, I think, most of the industries given this challenge from COVID, and those were collaboration tool. Here, what we were using 3 years or 2 years back, the meetings mean face to face. Our meetings mean with respect to going ahead with those video conferencing. By the adoption of collaboration tools, I think this is something which comes out right now. Meetings are at a click of a button. That helped a lot. In fact, now folks started understanding the advantage of it. We don't have to wait for days or weeks to set up a meeting. It's a matter of hours or matter of day where we are able to make sure that we adopt it. So one thing comes out is collaboration tool adoption of that. Second, we understand that working from home might not go away a single day as someday. There will be some part of working from home or working from anywhere. So we have put that architecture where we are installing those solutions where you can work from anywhere with the zero trust. That is another big thing we have done. And all of that has helped us to make sure that we have our security parameters, our security solutions are changed or modified to meet this demand. This is coming out directly out of a situation what has given this pandemic. Apart from that, some of the big things we are doing is now there is a huge emphasis and focus adoption of the technology for we have the data over past 3 decades. How to make a meaning of that data and take decisions based upon those insights. So we are putting the solutions and creating those big data lakes to integrate the data from all applications and make a sense out of it. There is a huge emphasis right now on that from overall organization perspective, making sure that folks are productive wherever they are. They are able to work with the folks which are remotely working, and making sure that we are integrating the data across platforms and making sense out of it. Also, what we have done, we are trying to figure out that there is no productivity loss even if you are working anywhere. So there are some productivity enhancement tools we are adopting so that there is a control and governance irrespective of where you
are. Yeah. So what are your top technology focus areas and priorities over the next 2-3 years?
With the adoption of technology, one thing should be clear to I think everybody, including that we being one of the largest and one of the very well-known brand L&T, cybersecurity is coming on top. we are increasing the tools, the processes, the awareness across cybersecurity and data security. That is something which is on everybody's mind, and which we have to do as an organization. So we are actually working on this and evolving day in and day out. I think this is one thing which is clearly on everybody. Another big point is that vitality of applications. Most of our applications are homegrown, so we have to figure out a way how to make sure those applications are lean and clear and integrated, and we are not struggling to make sure they go out of support in a given day. So application vitality comes out a big thing. And I think the third thing I spoke about, we are trying to figure out a way to have the integrated approach of all the applications, be it machine data or be it operations data, and make sense out of it. The large piece is what we have seen is that a way to now attract and retain technical and domain expertise. This has been a huge challenge across the industry. There are attrition levels which are much more higher than seen in the recent past. To figure out a way so that we are able to get that talent to keep these systems, which are massive, very sophisticated systems, up and running. So these are the 3 or 4 things which are running into my mind: data security, cyber security, integrated approach, application vitality, and making sure that we have the talent retained and attract to keep these systems running.
Yeah. So where do you see the construction industry in the near future in terms of new technology adoption, and what are the key trends?
See, few things are coming out very clearly. There is a huge appetite for BIM tools, because that is the one which I think everybody is adopting. So that you have a clear model, you can see, you can visualize the model and make sure that everyone is referring to that one model. I think the BIM will be picking up big time. We are also big adopters and users of BIM. That is one. Second, there has to be a huge application for AR and VR. This is again not necessarily on the training front, but as well as with respect to showing to the clients, making sure that you are interacting, you are having a view of the structure what you are creating. So that would be another big one. 3D printing is also picking up in a big way. Can we use 3D printing to do those mass buildings? Is there a way? So 3D printings, AR, VR tools, BIM technologies, and geospatial technologies also picking up in a big way. Apart from that, those safety equipments, our safety tools, wearables, those are the ones which are and EHS. So if I just do these 4 or 5 buckets, I think these are the one where I see, and these are already in use. It is just that how we are going to adopt that in Indian situation is what would be nice to see in the next few years, Kalpana.
Yeah. So what is the best thing, Sanjay, that excites you about your role?
Good, Kalpana. So I think few things which make me going is that right now IT is at the center, at the stage front, and it gives you an immense happiness and immense pride that the applications and the tools, whatever you have developed or whatever you are supporting, are being used by your design engineers, or your planning engineers, or your site engineers, or your finance team, to develop those mega architectures, mega buildings, mega structures, and those metros. So it actually it's a moment of pride for us in IT to be part of that team which is developing these tools and technologies being used by our users to construct, to design those mega structures, largest, biggest, deepest. That is one. Second, the big part is that we are the one who are actually making decisions that what is the right way. Is it for the right tool? We are not using a template given or developed by somebody. We are empowered enough to make those decisions, to make those changes, or to adopt those solutions which are good for us in a longer way. And I think the third one is being part of this organization, which empowers you, and working with the best of the best to develop those solutions. These are the few things which excites me day in and day out, Kalpana, me and my team.
Yeah. So what is the message that you would like to give to our audience, the CXO audience?
Few things. What I have realized, part of this role, Kalpana, you can't be an IT person if you have not, you don't know the business very well. You have to make sure that you are part of the business. You know the business very well. You understand the problems of the business. Don't talk about the features of the IT. Talk about the solutions what business is facing. Until unless you do that, you won't be successful. And I think second problem is that you are here to provide the solutions, not to tell what is the policy and procedures. I mean, it is as actually it is up to you to solve the problems of cybersecurity, data security. There is no cybersecurity, data security if the business is not getting what they need to do. So first, understand the business very well. Understand what they're looking for. Understand the technology very well, and be an enabler. Don't be a person who is there to give the IT tools, give the IT solutions. That is my message to every IT leader, that you are there to help the business, give the solutions, not the IT tools. The IT tools are facilitating it. So you need to be part of the business, understanding the business, and being that facilitator. I think the third big point is that now every person is an IT developer. Your role should be to provide a platform where everybody, be it a finance person, be it an engineer, be it a developer, they have those tools, they have that platform so that they can develop the applications themselves. You own some of the applications, what kind of systems of records, ERP kind of applications, but you should be providing a platform for your users to develop the solutions for themselves. You should be a guardian of the platform, not the guardian of the tools. That is what I would say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for answering that last question. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Kalpana. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.